Welcome to Hollywood Approved with Kristen and Yael. Each episode is an exploration of taste as we dive into the good, the bad, and the unexpected in TV and movies. Tune in for the celebrity guests, stay for the surprising recommendations. Plus, we get creative with modernizations and fan casts some of our favorites. This is Hollywood Approved.
Yay! Welcome back. I'm so excited, Kristen. We have someone very special joining us. We have someone from Doom Patrol. I'm so excited to welcome Jackie Goldston. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us. I love Doom Patrol, but I'm loving this season, especially because we are getting so much more about Jane's personalities, and there's a lot going on. And you as the secretary, who does not have a first or last name, is just the secretary, right?
Right.
Tell me about creating a character without a name.
So it's really interesting. When I first saw the character, I couldn't find any information about her anywhere. And I found this one teeny little picture with all the personalities. And there she was, just this little drawn animated photo, I guess from one of the original Grant Morrisons. And there she is with her hair up and glasses. And that's me. So yeah, I kind of thought, okay, so I had no idea what it really was. I didn't read the comics back then. I was a lot older than I look. And so I honestly did not know what Doom Patrol was. And so when I was looking things up, I realized, oh, okay. But as far as secretary goes, I thought, well, there's the chief who was up top. So I thought, okay, well, just maybe the secretary is like, I don't know, in charge of the downstairs area. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. I really want to know, though, how much control over the character do you have versus what Diane does with it? Because you're essentially playing the same character.
Yes. And honestly, she took it for the first time this season. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, she did a great job with it. It's kind of very much my own personality. So I play her very stoic, and Diane got to have a lot more fun with her because she was, playing her up top and having a little more fun with the Dollywood and, all that. But I get to play her very stoic. I guess I grasped that from my past life when I was more serious and yeah.
Do you have secretarial experience?
I do actually, yes.
Yeah.
And, have you and the other alternate personalities, bonded on set? What is it like behind the scenes?
We are very much, all of my sisters and me. It really is great back there. We enjoy each other immensely. Diane is a dream to work with. She's crazy talented. So she's our fearless leader. And the rest of us just really get along well. A lot of the stunt performers play some of her things.
Yeah. I forgot we agreed.
We're in New York. The it's getting loud over here.
Yeah, so a lot of the stunt performers are able to play some of her personalities just to fill in when we need them to. But Hammerhead, myself, Pretty Polly, and Driller Bill were thick as thieves.
Yeah, there's this season. I feel like we've seen the underground before, but there's more going on in the underground this time. And this season, I feel like we see something. There's something mysterious, and we don't really know what's going on. What can you tease us about what's happening? There's only one episode left, right? Are we getting answers? Because I'm impatient.
You will get answers. Yeah, you'll get answers.
Okay, that's it. That's all I get. All right, that's fine.
Yeah. I'll be there to help. So,
okay, taking notes, making flight appointments.
Exactly. Yes.
Secretarying it up.
No more vacations. That was Rita's fault, by the way.
Oh,
Rita.
of course. I don't blame the secretary. I blame Rita. I absolutely love this show, and I feel like it's so wacky. And with all the personalities, if you could play a different personality, which one would you want to play?
Hammerhead. I mean, who doesn't, right? She's such a badass. I love her so much. Stephanie's did such a great job with her, and she's a badass in real life, to be honest. She's been through a lot with surviving. She's a 3-time cancer survivor. So with her baldness, it was with her first bout of cancer, and she was battling that when we began the show, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I'd love to mix things up, and I've even pitched that to them, saying, can we mix things up in the underground and just have like Diane go a little wacky, a little more wacky, and have all the personalities become each other. So there's a storyline.
I want that so bad.
Because I'd like to let it loose a few times.
I love a storyline where people play other people, and I feel like it's just I assume, I'm not an actor, but I assume that's got to be really fun.
It is. It's so much fun.
Hey, I mean, going into the next season, everyone's already established at that point. Then it's like, why not?
Right.
Awesome.
Are there any personalities that we haven't necessarily met that you or gotten a lot of that you're excited or you would want us to see more of? Not necessarily that we get to see more of in the next episode.
Oh,
not asking for spoilers.
Next season is a big mystery to us as well right now. So I don't know. I can't say one way or the other, but I really love Willoughby Roll. He's great. He's not a personality, but he's fun to watch. He always comes to Niles Calder with the magic, and he's fun. I mean, I'd love just to have all of us together doing our thing.
Yeah. If the personalities lived in the upper ground, the real world, on the top,
right?
Do you think they would all? I just wonder. Do you think they'd all live in a compound together, and be? Yeah.
Oh yeah. We can't survive without each other. It's that tight. I think in her brain, we all have different talents and superpowers to help Kay survive and Jane survive. Right. So I don't think that we can actually separate us. It really broke a lot of us characters when Baby Doll and Flaming Katie died last season. And on set, I'm telling you, it was very somber. It was really hard for all of us.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I think we should head into our TV discussion because we still have so much more to talk about. So, Kristen, why don't we start with you?
Okay.
What was the last thing you watched?
The last thing that I watched was the latest episode of Chucky. I don't know if anybody else is watching it, but they're doing such a great job diving back into the history of how Charles Lee Ray became basically who he is. And in the most recent episode, they showed us how Chucky and Tiffany met, which was insane because you didn't even realize this till the end. They do these inside the episodes after the fact, but it turned out the guy that was playing young Chucky was actually Brad Dourif, who voices Chucky's real life daughter, who plays a different role in the show. But she they put all these prosthetics on her, and I swear she looked exactly like him as a young man. I just thought it was a different young man, I was so impressed by the prosthetics. I had no idea that was a woman in prosthetics playing the younger version of him. It was incredible. It's just a really fun show. I always thought Chucky was scary. And then in this last year, I've been I watched all the movies and I've been watching the show and I'm like, Chucky's actually very funny. It's funny slasher. And so just to see that that history of his daughter is part of this franchise now too, and that she's able to play him as a young man was crazy. I was so impressed.
Jackie, have you seen the Chucky series?
I never saw any of the originals either, so I just that's a great choice. I mean maybe maybe I will now that you've recommended it.
Oh, it's if you're a fan of like kind of like goofy slashers, then I think then you may enjoy it. It's very good actually. Yeah.
Jackie, what is the last thing you watched?
Dog videos. I love dogs.
That one on the left.
Yep.
Violet.
I have a dog. I love dogs. I love cats too. I'm not prejudiced either way. I have a yellow lab. She just came home from the hospital. She ate something she wasn't supposed to and was on IVs. Thankfully, she avoided surgery. But yeah, I watch dog videos to make my day brighter. I don't like to watch anything else.
I
Politics
get it.
and all that.
I am known to watch cat videos when I'm sad, or at any time. And I will watch a dog video if there are cats in it. So I get it.
There you go.
I love dogs. I just prefer them with cats.
Understand.
Yeah, I love it.
What about you, Yael? What
The
was
last thing I watched was the new season of Big Mouth. This season was all about love and hate. For those who don't watch Big Mouth, it's an adult animated series about kids in middle school going through puberty, which sounds weird, and it is, but it's so relatable because you're like, oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie, you watch Big Mouth?
I do not, but I literally had a discussion with someone on Facebook who was asking, what do I do with a bully in middle school who's bullying my child? So, of course, I wrote in Russian accent, first, I vet in car line. Then I tell them parents have changed safe word to red square. I take them to abandoned remote warehouse out in abandoned desert area. And I tell them, Mommy, Daddy, never coming back. If they're a good boy, girl, I will consider.
I love it.
Amazing.
Oh, that's the best.
I watched a lot of Rocky and Bullwinkle when I was a kid. You need to look that up.
I know who Rocky Bullwinkle is. She needs to look that up.
Hey, you guys make it sound like I'm not that young.
You're
Okay?
so young.
We're all 30 up. 30.
Yes, exactly. Precisely.
To teenagers, we're old. All right, so then Jackie, we'll go with you. What is a show or movie you just discovered?
Friday Night Lights. It's a football. There you go. That's it. Yeah, my husband and I like to watch that. We're fully invested now, and it's all about the high school stuff, and they tackle a lot of stuff, and they do it really well. So I really highly recommend it for parents.
Oh, what's the slogan? The clear hearts,
Oh,
clear eyes,
clear eyes, full hearts.
can't lose.
Full hearts.
Can't lose. Yeah.
I try to work that into conversation all the time. I've never seen the show, but I try to just work that in because I don't know I don't like have context.
It's like trying to work it in, but then you can't remember the actual phrase.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that can't something, you know what I'm saying?
Something about clear, something about hearts, and something
There
about
you
can't lose.
Yeah, it's written up in the boys' locker, the football players,
Oh.
In vinyl, probably from a cricket.
Love it.
Yes.
Kristen, what about you? What is a show or movie you just discovered?
A movie that I just discovered was Hypnotic on Netflix with Kate Siegel, and it's very it's pretty dark actually. It's basically like this like a hypnotherapist kind of taking advantage of a woman by doing hypno things and confusing her mind and stuff.
I love her. I love her.
Yes, right. Kate Siegel's so amazing.
Is this new?
Yes, it's new. It just came out, I would guess to say at the end of October. or beginning of November. It just like came out like a week or two ago.
So
And
real close to Midnight Mass then.
oh yeah, like right after Midnight Mass. Yeah. So Midnight Mass, she was great in that. And then this was like her newest project, but it's not a Mike Flanagan one. But yeah, it's definitely like you just get very mad at the doctor who is clearly.
Ooh, I want to watch it.
Yeah, I really want to watch this too. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys
Kristen.
check it out. Yeah. So what about you, Yael?
So I actually discovered this because somebody was posting snippets of it on their Insta stories, and it was called Attack of the Hollywood Cliches, and Rob Lowe hosts it. It was fascinating. As somebody who loves learning about how TV and movies are made, it is so interesting. It's like an hour long only, and it's quick and funny, and it goes into like a lot of different cliches for a very short amount of time. So every time they're like, this is a cliche and here's why it's problematic. And then they move to the next one. And I'm like, no, let's keep talking. Like, please go in depth. Please give me a little more.
They could have made it a TV show like that Explained on Netflix. Like, let's go into each one.
Yes, each one could have been its own episode, because some of them, there's like the history of them. And other ones, there's like, here's why this was done, and it was for sexist reasons. But then it just moves to the next one. And I really wanted more, which I feel is rare for me to be like, please, documentary, be longer.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, have you seen it? Have either of you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, it's on Netflix.
I'll have to check
It's
it out.
only an hour.
Yeah. I'm curious now.
I assume there will be a second one, but I feel like they covered so many that I don't feel like they're going to go in depth in the second one. I feel like they're just going to briefly tell you about more of them.
Right.
Well, we'll see. Next up, I want to know, Jackie, aside from Doom Patrol, what is a superhero movie or show that you love?
Shazam!
Yes.
That's him.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We recently discovered Chuck earlier this year, and so we watched all of those. And I don't know why we didn't watch it before, but yeah, huge Zach Levi fan. So yeah.
Are you a big superhero fan?
I'm normal. I really like the Avenger stuff. Just, the Marvel, the DC characters. If it's a good movie, I'll watch it. But
Yeah.
like I just watched, the last movie I saw was Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
So good.
Yeah,
With the pockets.
Yeah, I think what I love is the superhero stuff that's like funny. So that's why Shazam's I love that one too, because I love when they can like bring in that like comic book humor and like it's kind of campy and goofy, versus like the serious like I am Batman. Like those are cool too, but I like when they're like more funny.
I am the same way, and I think Florence Pugh and David Harbour did that for Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
And Shazam does it, and I'm hoping we'll have some of that in Black Adam too.
Oh, I hope so too.
Yeah. I assume we will because it is The Rock.
Right. Exactly.
He's a very funny guy. Yeah, he's pretty funny. He's really good in like the Jumanji movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah. All right, Kristen, what is a superhero show or movie you love?
I'm gonna go with Umbrella Academy. I feel like that's another one that is funny, but it also does something a little bit different. Like as much as I love like the Marvel and the DC, I feel like I'm finding myself now drawn more to ones that are a little bit different, that like we don't see them all the time. Like there's only so many Avengers movies that you can watch before you're like, all right, we've seen a lot of these people already. We've watched and read these comics for years and years. What's somebody that's like a little bit newer, a little bit different? And I love the whole like dysfunctional family stuff and things like that, where they're just like going outside the box. So that's what I'm excited for to come back for the next season. And I'm a big fan of. What about you, Yael?
It's so funny because if you think about it, Doom Patrol, Shazam, Umbrella Academy, and My Pick are all like these dysfunctional families and have comedy.
That's really why we love them all.
Yeah, My Pick is actually Legends of Tomorrow, because I said I couldn't pick Doom Patrol. Because what I love a superhero show that isn't afraid to be wacky and like off the walls. And it's one of the things I love about Doom Patrol is like, there was the episode where they have to go into like death to get them. And then they remind us that there are these humping ghosts just hanging out. And I was like, oh yeah, the humping ghosts.
Right.
Like, what a weird show. And Legends of Tomorrow really leans into their wacky as well. And I think it's really fun when they kind of break the fourth wall and they're like, we have a loyal fan base. And people are like, we have a fan base? And they're like, a small loyal fan base that keeps us renewed. And I'm like, that's funny. I think that's so funny that
Love it.
Yeah. So I love a wacky, dysfunctional family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, Kristen, I'll start with you. What is a show or movie you were obsessed with growing up?
I watched a lot of Passport to Paris with Mary-Kate and Ashley. I feel like a lot of their little movies I would just like play on repeat. But that was one in particular. I mean, they went to Paris, they ate snails. It was great. And even me and my fiance went to Paris a couple of years ago, and we like went through and like we're trying to find all of the places that they went to in different movies, but also specifically in that movie. And it was just like exciting to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm where they were. Yeah.
That's very funny.
That's adorable.
I miss them. Had some a good thing going.
Yeah,
they did. Jackie, what about you? What was a show or movie you were obsessed with growing up?
I loved Twilight Zone.
Classic.
Yeah.
The classic Twilight Zone.
You didn't have to see all the gore, but you knew it was scary, that kind of thing. I love that stuff. I love it.
Did you have a favorite episode?
I don't think I had a favorite episode. I know that I did see the actual movie like 3 times, and I would never go to a movie more than once. But that freaked me out a lot.
Did you have a story that stuck with you?
I think there's so many, especially from the movie. The William Shatner, when I fly on planes, I always look on the wing to see if there's a creature out there. I mean, you can't help it. That's what we grew up with.
I feel like that show is so like foundational for a lot of things, right? Like I feel like Black Mirror wouldn't exist without it.
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of the anthology series wouldn't, and it brought horror, I guess, to like mainstream, because it was on just like TV. It wasn't like specialty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I love how they keep bringing it back. They did another one in like the 2000s. They have the one now. I mean, I'm sure nothing is as good as the classic, but it's still cool that they keep it, fresh for new audiences to be like, oh yeah, the Twilight Zone, I grew up with that too,
And I feel like the stories are still like, you can watch the classics and they're still scary.
They are. They really are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge old school Alfred Hitchcock fan too. So I love all that kind of stuff.
I love that. Would you say that you horror is your preferred genre?
Probably. Yeah. My best friend and I get together on best friend nights, and we will have chocolate and wine and a scary movie.
That's
very nice. I love that. That sounds so fun.
Yeah. And my show or movie I was obsessed with growing up was Xena, which should tell you a lot about me. Obsessed with Xena Warrior Princess. Hilariously, barely remember it now.
Oh, wow. You got to rewatch it.
I do, because I remember being super into it. And then I loved that the guy who played Ares was the same on Young Hercules and regular Hercules. And so I was like all about this dumb universe. But now I think about it and people are like, oh, this person was in that. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember them at all. Something happened in my memories. And I think I filled it with SVU episodes. So I need to rewatch Xena because I really did love it. Yeah.
That's
Right.
awesome. My dad loved it too.
Yeah.
Every time I came in as an adult child, he was watching Xena. Like, good for you, Dad. Still got it.
I mean, it was, if I remember correctly, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I want to remind everybody there is one more episode of this season of Doom Patrol tomorrow on HBO Max. But if people want to keep up with you on social media, where can everyone find you?
I'm on Instagram, Jackie_Goldston, and I have a Facebook page as well.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you both so much. I enjoyed the time. And those recommendations are awesome. So thanks.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
too.
I'm going to rewatch Twilight Zone, but not Friday Night Lights, because I'm going to keep butchering that saying, and I like it.
That's okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
We are going to keep going with the show and say thank you again to Jackie. But now it is time for some fan casting. Today we are fan casting Scooby-Doo. But we have come to a decision. Today, Kristen's fan casting Scooby-Doo.
I'm going to fan cast Scooby-Doo. I think, I kind of went for a classic young adult live action story. I would like Scooby-Doo to be continue to be voiced by the same man who has voiced him for probably decades. And so we're just going to cast everybody else.
Okay,
so for Daphne, I decided to go with Sophia Carson. I feel like Daphne's right, is a classic, she's very fashionable, she loves mysteries. I get those vibes from Sophia Carson. I think she would do a good job with that and be really cute.
I agree. I think that Sophia Carson is a good pick. I think she is very talented and underrated.
Yes.
And she tends to play, I feel like, mean girls, and Daphne is like a softer mean girl.
Yeah, I feel like she's less mean and more of just like a put together
Type A personality.
Type A personality, yeah. Like very put together, type A.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Daphne was ever mean, right? She was just
she was bossy.
Yeah, maybe just a little bossy. Nothing wrong with a bossy lady.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then for Velma, I decided to go with Geraldine Viswanatha. Apologize if that's not how you say the last name.
I love this pick.
I wanted to go with someone who, I thought was like a fun actress who could do a lot of different things, but also was a little bit more like chill. I wanted like a chill vibe for Velma, and I feel like Geraldine would be really good in something like that. Like I could just picture her in Velma's outfits and just being like jinkies, looking all around for stuff. I also wanted to, in my choices, I wanted to, as we pick people that are more diverse, that maybe we wouldn't have necessarily seen before in a role like this. And so I thought that she might be a good fit.
Yeah,
and then,
I agree.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, is she, I think she's Australian and Indian. And I think that there was...
Australian?
Yeah, she's Australian.
And
there is, I believe there is a new Scooby-Doo that they're doing with Mindy Kaling voicing Velma. So that was kind of my inspiration a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. And then for Shaggy, I wanted someone, with the hair that I think could do a good surfer dude kind of vibe. So I went with Spencer Sutherland, a good friend of the show. And he was really good in the scenes that he had in
I Know What You Did.
I Know What You Did. I wanted to say How I Met Your Mother, which is not. I was trying to say I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, because he was like a Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused type of character. Yes. So I totally see that translating into a Shaggy.
Yes, so that was where my inspiration was for that, to cast Spencer Sutherland as Shaggy.
I'll say this. I think that he would do a really great job with it. But in my mind,
yes,
you cannot have a Shaggy that is not Matthew Lillard.
That is true. I only had to choose someone else because it didn't work with the ages here, like
I understand.
unless this is like, a younger version and this is all new people and then Shaggy's just like the older guy, like, yo, what's up?
I
My
mean,
little nephews
Matthew
and
Lillard
nieces.
he's an adult. He's like very much an adult now. Like
Yeah.
he's an adult enough that he can't play a teen anymore.
Yeah.
Because he was an adult playing a teen before, but he's past that now. But he's still always gonna be my Shaggy, and I don't want anyone else.
I agree with that. Maybe this is like Daphne, Velma, and Fred's like kids, and he's like the uncle.
Yes, Uncle Shaggy. Oh, I'm into it.
Uncle Shaggy, that would be cute. Honestly, I would watch that.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard as like Uncle Shaggy bringing a new group of kids into the Mystery Machine gang.
It actually would make a lot of sense because of who like Shaggy is, that they would be like, oh, we need someone to drive. So I guess we'll ask Uncle Shaggy. And he'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And they're like, no.
And Scooby-Doo's like really old too. It's like,
yeah. I love that. And then who do you have for Fred?
And then for Fred, I went with Jorge Lindenberg Jr., who, I don't know, I just like could see an ascot like looking really good on him. Like Fred with his little ascot, like I'm like, that would look really nice. And I think he did a really good job in Night Teeth, playing like a little bit more of like, I guess kind of more of the straight man, which I feel like Fred was always kind of like, the one that's just like, let's go do this. We're going to go do that. Whereas Shaggy was like more goofy and Daphne was like the fashionable one and Velma was like all like losing her glasses and stuff. Fred was more like, I'm leading this crew, let's go. And I think he would do a good job. Yeah.
I love that. I think that is specifically that one. I'm not familiar with his work and I feel like it's such an interesting take. All of these are very interesting. I stand by my, sorry to Spencer, I stand by my statement that only Matthew Lillard is allowed to be Shaggy. But I think this is a fascinating take, and I would definitely watch it.
Maybe this is Shaggy Jr. He's Matthew Lillard's nephew or son.
I'll allow it.
Allow it.
Awesome. Well, that is it for today's show. Before we go, we want to remind you that the Hollywood Critics Association has a lot of amazing content coming out every week. For example, you can check out Pop Council on Mondays, What to Stream on Thursdays, and so much more. I want to thank, of course, Jackie Goldston for joining us, for talking Doom Patrol. I cannot wait for tomorrow's season finale. I'm very excited. But until next time, Kristen, where are you at on the internet and what are you up to these days?
You can find me everywhere at youtube.com/kmaldo, KAYMALDO, or kmaldo on Twitter, Facebook, at a 1 at the end on Instagram. I also host a podcast called Pop Culture Planet, all about representation and inclusion in Hollywood. And I have a site, popcultureplanet.net, where we write all about what's coming out in news, trailers, movies, things of that nature. Yeah. What about you, Yael?
I am everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. You can find me on Sunday on Law & Order S Review, talking about Law & Order SVU over on Fanversations channel. You can find me here on Wednesdays, and you can find me on weekends on the Electric Now app for the official Leverage Redemption After Show, a very distinctive podcast. And that's about it. Yeah. So we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.